First off, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI, in the name of the Holy Spirit. In Hebrew, it's called Halal Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI Bahashem Rahach Kwadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutations to all the brothers out there that's teaching this word in truth and sincerity and peace, blessings and healings unto the elect, because that's why we do these videos. And today, I want to talk about this. France angry after U.S. strikes deal with Australia for nuclear subs. So France feel like it got stabbed in the back. You know what I'm saying? And this is bringing division within the ranks of NATO, man. You know what I'm saying? And the beast. You know what I'm saying? So this is prophecy, okay? And we're seeing it unfold. So let me play this video. It's just a quick news clip, so I ain't gotta read. And then I'm gonna get into the scriptures.
President Biden has announced a deal with Great Britain to supply Australia with nuclear-powered submarines. It's a clear pushback against China in the Pacific. But France is furious. That's because the Australian government canceled a multi-billion-dollar contract for French submarines and opted instead for American nuclear subs. The French government accusing the U.S. of stabbing it in the back. The New York Times reports the French embassy's already canceled a gala scheduled for tomorrow night. It was supposed to celebrate the great relations France has with the United States. And it's not just the French who are ticked off now over this submarine deal. China's accusing the U.S. of stoking a new arms race. Chinese state media warning Australia that it's now an adversary and to prepare for the worst. Dan DeLuce covers global affairs for NBC News Investigative Unit. Dan, how bad is this submarine deal for U.S.-French relations?
It is a problem. It is bad, and I don't think it's going to fade away quickly or easily. The French are truly angry about it, and it's not just the party they're canceling for tomorrow night. I think they saw Joe Biden as a strong supporter of the transatlantic alliance, that there was going to be stability and cohesion after a very difficult time during the Trump presidency. So this is just tremendously disappointing to them. But, the French and some European countries are not as ready to take a confrontational approach to China that the U.S. is advocating and that Great Britain and Australia support. Now, as far as the submarine deal with the French, the Australians had been complaining already and were unhappy with that arrangement. They said there were budget overruns, delays, and a cybersecurity problem. Australia's defense minister had this to say when he was explaining why they made the decision.
The French have a version which was not superior to that operated by the United States and the United Kingdom. And in the end, the decision that we have made is based on what is in the best interests of our national security.
So that's Australia's explanation. This is not just about submarines. Artificial intelligence, undersea technology, all about cutting-edge high tech. So Australia, the U.S., and the U.K. really pushing back on China, and the Biden White House believes this is going to be a strategic win.
Dan DeLuce, thank you.
But there you have it, man. I got some other videos over here. It says Paris rages over submarine deal while U.S. calls France a vital partner. Also, article, as a furious France plots its revenge for America's treachery on its sub deal, will it take the nuclear option of quitting NATO? And then another one. Australia made very clear the France submarine deal could be scrapped. PM Morrison says after Paris brands it stab in the back. Now this is prophecy, you know what I'm saying? Because YAHAWASHI said there would be division, within America, NATO, and the EU, man. There would be division. Okay? And that's why they're going to fall, man. And at the end of it, France is going to turn their back on America, and they're going to nuke America with Russia, man. Point blank, period. That's in the scriptures. So we're going to, let me just get some prophecy real quick. This is Daniel's 2:40. Okay? It says, and the fourth beast shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Now this is talking about Rome, right? Okay, it says, And where thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. Okay, this is talking about the beast. Okay, because after Rome fell, it got wounded, right? And then it got healed and turned into America, NATO, and the EU. You know, they caught power again. You know, so it says, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You know, they're strong militarily, but they're going to be partly broken because what? They're going to be divided. And if you're divided, you know, there's a division amongst the ranks, then you're going to end up fighting against each other, man. It's going to collapse. It's going to collapse in on itself. It says, and where thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves together with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So this is just prophecy, man. You know, that Rome would fall, and then it would get power again 1,000 years later. You know what I'm saying? Which is the so-called white man getting power again around the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. You know what I'm saying? And building himself back up to what we have now. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Revelations 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw us a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. You know, and I got this picture because this is what it's talking about. You know, the 7 heads. You know, the 7 heads is the 7 governments that the so-called white man, Esau Edom, has ruled. The Greeks, the British, Jeremiah Minor, the Spanish, the French, the Romans, Jeremiah Major. You know, these are all you know, kingdoms that the so-called white man has ruled, right? And then it said it got 10 horns, which is what? Which is the EU. Which is the EEC. The 10 horns represents the common market of the European Economic Community, EEC, established in 1958. Today the EEC is known as the EU, the European Union, and as you can see, Belgium, Denmark, France. Okay, France is mad at who? The whore who sits on top of the beast. You know, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, West Germany, and then you got NATO is the acronym for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Greece, Italy, Spain, France, West Germany, United Kingdom, Portugal, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Canada, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Turkey, United States, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. Now out of that I didn't see Australia. So that's probably why France is mad, because as when you read Revelation 17, let me get it. It says, and there come out of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talk with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So everybody followed America in wickedness. Okay, so he carried away into the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her head, her forehead was name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So it's on France that France would trust a harlot. Okay? France is mad that a harlot jumped on Australia's dick. You know what I'm saying? And this is why the nations are going to turn their back on America in the end, because America's a harlot, man. It's a whore. You know what I'm saying? It'll do anything for anybody, man. You know, when people are getting tired of it, man, when you turn your back on your allies, because I don't see Australia over here, but they've been working with NATO and the EU since like 2005. But France is like, I've been with you since 1958, and the whore jump on somebody else's dick. You know what I'm saying? And probably America is probably rewarding Australia for going full New World Order over there where they live at, because they going crazy over there in Australia. So the whore got to reward Australia a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that pisses off France, and that's just bringing prophecy, because what? It's making the nations be divided. You know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to stand for your allies, but they're not standing for their allies, right? And this is just in the scriptures, man. Let me get it. You know, Mark chapter 3, going all the way down to 3 and 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So YAHAWASHI set it up that America, NATO, and the EU was going to fall anyway, because a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. You got to have one goal in mind, and you got to reach that goal, right? And it says, the kingdom shall be divided. There shall be in the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And iron and clay don't mix, right? It's just prophecy. It says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but he have an end. And we know what the end of these nations are going to be. They're going to turn their back on America and nuke it. Okay? We can read that in Revelations 17. You go all the way down to 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The 10 horns shall hate the whore. Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, West Germany. Scratch one off the list. France. And probably these other nations they probably like angry behind the scenes, calling up France. Hey man, that's fucked up what they did. Blah blah blah. That's why we going to join Russia in World War III and nuke this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Who's the whore, man? America, man. That sits on the beast, right? The great whore. And France getting mad because you mad because the whore jumped on somebody else's dick. Like, come on, bruh. And these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So, you know, during World War III, you know, they're going to turn their back on America, man. Let's get Obadiah 1 and 7. You know, I'll start at 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, which dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You know, because these people are so proud. And at the top you see Edom will be humbled. Who is Edom? Esau, Edom, right? And on this sign, the 7 hands equals the 7 governments or kingdoms ruled by Esau, because in the scriptures, you know, YAHAWASHI said, before he will return, the people that will be ruling the earth will be Esau, Edom. Okay? Got Rome. It fell. They gathered back up its strength after 1,000 years, and now you see what we got. America, NATO, and the EU. Okay? And all you gotta do is read chapter 1, Obadiah 1 and 1, to get who this is talking about concerning Edom, right? But it says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, who's safe in their heart, who shall bring me down to the ground. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, they exalt themselves as the eagle. You know, America, Edom, Rome, Nazi. You know what I'm saying? Edom represents themselves as an eagle, and they all the way to America, man. You know, it's the same people. They can't escape it. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down to the ground. Now, when you go down to 7, it says, All the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So this is prophecy, okay? Like it says in Revelation 17 and 16, you know, they're going to hate the whore, man. They're going to hate America. They're going to turn their back on America, the 10 horns. And I read who they were. And prevailed against thee. So they're going to prevail, man.